Hey everyone, this is part 3 or part 4 of our Saturday Stream Stick Talk live series. So basically we just go live every Saturday from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So today we're going to be doing a study with me and Q&A. So yeah, we're going to be studying for an hour, and like during that, if anyone has any questions on university applications, high school, university programs, I'd be happy to answer them, or even just questions about study techniques. So it's 6 o'clock, so we'll get started. I'm just going to be studying, and if any questions roll in during it, we can start to answer them. Let's turn that on. So again, if you guys have any questions, just feel free to put them in the chat, and if not, we can just study, and I'm sure you guys have a lot going on too. So yeah, for anyone who's just coming in, we're doing a study with me and Q&A. So if you have any questions about university, the university application process, high school, anything like that, maybe even study techniques, you can feel free to ask me. Otherwise, you can feel free to just, study and make this a productive hour. It's going to be a pretty chill live session today. So yeah, for anyone who's just coming in now, we're doing a pretty chill live session today. We're doing a study with me and Q&A, so if you have any questions about university, the university application process, high school, anything like that, maybe even study techniques, you can feel free to ask me. If not, we're just going to be studying together and, being productive and getting some work done. But yeah, any questions, feel free to put them in the chat and I'll answer them. Oh, actually, maybe it would be more productive if I pin a comment about what I'm doing, so then anyone who comes in, let's figure out how to do that. How do I pin a comment? Oh my gosh. This is, I think, the 4th live stream we're doing, so we're still learning as we go. But I'm just trying to pin this comment about what we're doing in this live so anyone who comes in can just know what we're doing. Yeah, if you guys have questions about anything, feel free to ask. We pretty much cover any topic, like, I don't know, even trig identities. Any questions about any courses you have? Timer stopped? That's so weird. Okay, there we go. Hey Ikra, how's it going? What are you guys studying right now? You can drop it in the comments. Or if you're not studying, why are you not studying? No, I'm just kidding. What resources can I use for math? That's a great question. So I'm assuming that, you're in Ontario, you're in high school and you're doing math. Feel free to correct me if you aren't. But if you are, there are some key, websites that I found very helpful in my experience. So let me just... let me pull up my notebook so I can write down which resources I'd recommend you visit. Okay, so for math, I'd recommend Jensen Math. He has a great website that has like practice sheets and like videos and everything. And he also does like a summary video. So if you're studying for exams, which are coming up soon probably for you, he does 1 hour summaries of each math course in high school. And so I found those very helpful. Also Desmos, if you don't already use it, can be very helpful for graphing. What else? There's WizKids, which gives you free practice tests that teachers have used previously. So it can kind of give you an idea of, what you should be expecting on your tests. And then there's also another resource that I would recommend. I can't remember the name, but if you click onto our TikTok profile, we have the video pinned. Or actually, I don't think we have it pinned. But we did make a video on, it's called How to Get 90s in Math. And basically, it just gives you a bunch of free resources to kind of help you strengthen your understanding in math. So if you're interested in that, feel free to check it out on our TikTok. If you guys want to know how I take my notes or anything like that, I'm also open to sharing that, how I study. What university would you recommend for neuroscience or a career in clinical psychology? So I would recommend definitely like a life science or health science kind of program. And so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to like search up whether the programs you're interested in allow you to specialize. So for example, University of Toronto Life Sciences has a lot of specializations. For example, one of the people we interviewed on our website specialized in like 3 different things. They did pharmacology, toxicology, and I think they also did neuroscience. Whereas like some other health sci or life sci programs might not offer that specialization. So if you are really interested in neuroscience and you want to specialize your degree to that, I would definitely recommend looking into whether your life science or health science programs that you might be interested in offer those kind of things. And as for clinical psychology, that's a graduate program. So you're going to want to make sure that, you have a strong, like, background in psychology. So you might want to take a psychology program as well. And in that case, Western has a strong psychology program and social science program. Would you say U of T has a good psych program? U of T is very academically strong in a lot of programs. I believe we have a psychology interview on our website. Let me double check that for you. But for example, when I was applying to universities, in order to see whether the program was good, I would reach out to students on LinkedIn to ask them about their genuine opinion on the program. And I feel like that's such an underrated way of learning about the program, because you get to hear their genuine opinion on the courses, the teaching staff, the environment, whether it's a competitive environment or whether it's collaborative. So I think that can be a very helpful resource. So let me see. Okay, so for U of T, we have a life sci interview, a sociology interview, and another life sci interview with a specialization in pharmacology and toxicology. So if you're interested, we can find a student in U of T in psychology, but if you're looking for an answer, an answer really quick, then I would definitely recommend you go on LinkedIn and find a student who is in U of T psychology and ask them for their advice, because that can be literally invaluable. And most of the time, students are really helpful when they hear that you're interested in their program. So yeah, don't be afraid to reach out to university students. I did it myself and it was very helpful. problem. How many interviews do you guys have for Toronto Uni? So I'm assuming you mean University of Toronto. So I can show you real quick if you're interested. So I was on University of Toronto before. So as always, our website is in the link in our bio. And for U of T, we actually have quite a lot. So within the University of Toronto, there's 3 branches. There's the St. George campus, which is in downtown Toronto. There's the Mississauga campus, and then there's the Scarborough branch. So in total, we have 18 interviews from the University of Toronto. So yeah, quite a lot, and they're quite diverse. Like we have accounting, commerce, computer engineering, engineering science, life science, political science, neuroscience. Oh yeah, we have neuroscience in case that other viewer was interested. Yeah, the student is a neuroscience and molecular genetics and microbiology double major. So that's really impressive. And yeah, these interviews are super helpful if you're looking to apply to one of these programs. And also, if you want more information, our interviewees always leave their information here. So you can contact them on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. Most of them leave multiple ways for you to contact them if you have any questions about their program or just interested in hearing about their opinion more. What year is it? It's 2021. Do grade 10 marks matter for university? In Ontario, they do not. The only marks that get sent to OUAC, which is the Ontario University Application Centre, are your grade 11 and grade 12 marks. And of those marks, the grade 12 marks are what matter most. Grade 11 marks will only be taken into consideration for early acceptance. So no, grade 10 marks don't matter. Okay, someone asked, what is the best business school in Ontario? So generally there's the top 3 for business schools, which is Queen's Commerce, Western, BMOS, and Ivy. And then the other one would be York Schulich. So this is in terms of like general and popular opinion, but obviously each business school is different and it depends on your needs and what you're looking for in a school. But yeah, generally Queen's, Western, and York. Okay, so someone asked, what's a competitive average for civil engineering? So that obviously depends on what school you're applying to, but engineering tends to be very competitive. So I'll actually pull up, we have data from Waterloo Engineering and the averages that you need to get into that. So let me just pull it up for you. So yeah, the link in our bio, we have engineering resources. And then in those engineering resources, we have FAQs. Let me see, I think the averages might be here. There was a really good graphic on one of these articles that shows you like what the typical averages of people admitted into Waterloo Engineering is. Yeah, here we go. So is this it? This is the admission chances graph for 2019. So this shows you the chance that you have of being admitted with a certain average. So as you can see, as the averages go up into the mid-90s, your chances get greater and greater. So let's see where civil engineering is. Okay, so civil engineering is indicated with the orange dot. So as you can see, if you have, let's say you have a 92 average, you have an 80% chance of getting in for Waterloo Civil Engineering. But obviously this also depends on your supplementary application. So yeah, let me show you. So yeah, on this article, this is from 2019, and students who had a 93 average had actually a really great chance to get in, as you can see here. So yeah, I wouldn't stress too much, and it's probably not that different here in 2021. But again, if you want advice on Waterloo specifically, this resource is actually really good, and I would definitely recommend checking it out. And if you have any other questions related to that, I'd be happy to answer it. But yeah, 93, you should be okay. But again, just always try your best and put your best effort into the supplementary application as well. What time is it? So yeah, we're doing the stream for an hour, so we have 37 minutes left to the stream. Also, it doesn't matter if I took grade 11 summer school English, like, do universities look at it? The majority of universities don't. They don't care whether you took English in summer school or not. Obviously on OUAC, you're going to have to indicate that you did take English in summer school. I believe the only school that asks you about it is Waterloo in their AIF. Now, this is in previous years. They may have updated it since then. But in previous years, they've had a section of the AIF that asks you why you either retook a course or why you took it in summer school. So obviously if you have your reasons, like they can't, discredit you or it doesn't hurt your application, but they do ask about it, if that makes sense. What are some good business schools in Ontario? Okay, great question. So yeah, generally there is the big three of business schools in Ontario. And so those are Queen's Commerce, Western, BMOS, and Ivy, and York Schulich. And so that's just based on general popular opinion, but obviously there are a lot of other really good commerce and business programs, like McMaster, Ryerson also has a good commerce program. It just depends on you and what you want from your school and what kind of environment you want to live in for the next 4 years. But generally the most popular is Queen's, Western, and York. And that's kind of based on the career opportunities, the business opportunities, the networking opportunities, and just kind of the method in which you study at those schools. Hey Alex, so you asked, is architectural engineering at Waterloo good? Great question. We were actually just talking about this. Waterloo in general for engineering is a very strong program, just because of how the program's been established over the years and the amount of networking and connections to other big companies that you have. So we were actually discussing where you can find Waterloo engineering resources, and that includes architectural engineering. So if you go to the link in our bio, we have this thing called Waterloo Engineering, and it basically links to Waterloo Discord group. We've interviewed a bunch of Waterloo engineering students. I'm not sure if we interviewed in architectural engineering, but yeah, we have a bunch of resources here. I was actually discussing with some other person who asked a question. They were asking is a 93 average good enough to get into architectural engineering at Waterloo? And this is a graph from 2019 that shows what your chances are based on your admission average. So if you're interested in that as well, that's in the link in our bio. And Queens, Mac, and Western, we have engineering interviews for all of those as well. So what I would recommend you do is you can take a look at those interviews if you're interested in it. And for us, typically students will reach out to the interviewees that we interviewed, and they're super helpful. They're always willing to answer students' questions. But generally, engineering at all those schools is really strong programs. But obviously Waterloo, that's kind of the top in Ontario. When would be a good time to apply? We generally recommend applying before Christmas break. A lot of students work on their application and submit it during Christmas break, but you always like to be early. You don't want to be late. And also in terms of early admission, we were discussing this in our last live, but I'll show you briefly. So we created this kind of overview of your grade 12 school year. And so as you can see, you're going to get your OU applicants. Hopefully you've already gotten them. There are a couple schools who haven't gotten them yet. So not to worry if you haven't. But as you can see, there's 3 big admission rounds at December, March, and May. So if you apply before December, then you have a better chance of getting in during that big admission round. But obviously there's other admission rounds, but the general recommendation is to just apply as soon as possible. But as well, that depends on the program you're applying to. For example, some programs only give out offers in May, including Waterloo Engineering, I believe. So again, you're just going to want to look into your specific program. But generally, prior to Christmas break is the goal. Or just generally late November, you should be submitting your OUAC application if you haven't already. Earlier the better. Okay, what would you recommend if I were to get into Mech Eng or Waterloo Architectural Engineering? Obviously, it just depends on you and like what you're actually interested in. Are you more interested in architectural engineering or mechanical engineering? And if you want to know what the programs are actually like, Waterloo is typically known for being a more like academically rigorous university. So all of the students there, from my experience, are usually really stressed, just because it is a rigorous university. So I would definitely recommend like reaching out to students in both of those programs and asking them like, what is like the culture in your program? Like, do you enjoy the courses? Do you have a lot of electives? Is it super hard and draining and taxing? Is everyone collaborative or is it competitive? You know, those kind of questions are really important. Also, it's really important to tour the campus. So I've toured both McMaster and Waterloo is definitely, like McMaster definitely has the nicer campus, I'll put it that way. So it kind of depends on where you're going to enjoy being for the next 4 years as well. Do March admissions take into account second semester midterms? Oh yeah, that's a great question actually. So we plotted when you would be getting your midterms, finals, and then second semester midterm and finals. So as you can see, if you're in a semestered system. So if you're in a semestered system, then March admissions would not take in your second semester midterms because they come out like mid-April. So yeah. But if you're in a quadmester system, this may be like completely different. What is UBC known for? UBC is really known for their commerce program, Sauder's Commerce. UBC is also known, they have generally like in British Columbia, like they have a lot of programs that they offer, and we have a lot of interviews from students at UBC. So let me pull them up actually. They're also known for their beautiful campus. So yeah, we have a nursing interview, biology interview, behavioral neuroscience, mining engineering, commerce, and applied animal biology. So yeah, definitely what it's known for is its commerce program, beautiful campus, and also just a wide variety of programs that it does offer. So if you're interested in reading about any of these programs, yeah, you can just go onto our website and check it out. Engineering and science as well. Yeah, UBC has really strong engineering and science faculties too. We have an interview from an engineering student at UBC if you're interested in that. Yeah, this guy is really accomplished. His name is Quan, and he is a mining engineer, which by the way is a very underrated career pathway. There's a lot of money in mining engineering just because the demand for the job has really risen. Like if you search it up, it has really exponentially risen in the past few years. And so he's really great. He makes educational videos on mining engineering if you're looking into getting into that. But yeah. But architectural engineering is easier. I think ways out. Sorry, we just got an invite for someone to go live together. I don't even know who this person is. No, decline. I tried to click decline. Oh, shit. Okay, I don't know. Which university has the best co-op opportunities? That's a great question, and actually co-op is something that you should definitely take seriously when considering your universities, whether they offer co-op as part of the program or not. And co-op depends a lot on the university itself, but it also depends on the connections, the network of the university, and also the location. So for example, let's say you're going to Ottawa, obviously that's right next to Parliament. And so if you're interested in political science, that might be a great option for you to go there. Just because you would have like more like volunteer work or co-op opportunities in Parliament. Same for U of T. It's like in Toronto, in the heart of the city. So if you're into business opportunities, that might be a good place for you to go. And for Waterloo, I believe they have like a Google headquarters in Waterloo. And so that's why there's a lot of like great connections and opportunities and incubators for aspiring engineers and entrepreneurs. So again, it just depends on the university, and if you're looking into like a specific place, I would definitely recommend reaching out to the students at that university and getting their personal opinion. Have you heard of Dalhousie? Yeah, I have a lot of friends who go to Dal. It's a great school. They have a great I believe it's a med-sci program. They also have a good nursing program, and yeah, it's a great school. Waterloo is best for engineering, best for co-op. Yeah, Waterloo has a great co-op program. Ryerson is good too. Okay. Where do I go? I go to Queen's University. How would you recommend reaching out to students and alumni? That's actually a great question. So when I was in grade 12, what I did was this was after the summer of grade 11. I created a LinkedIn for myself. And if you guys don't know what that is, it's like a business networking platform. And it's great to get opportunities for jobs, opportunities for volunteer, that kind of thing. But also I started off on LinkedIn just listing like my what I had done so far, and then what I would do is I would go on LinkedIn and search up the program that I was interested in, for example Queen's Commerce, and I would find students in that program and send them like a connection request, and I'd be like, hi, my name is blah blah blah, I'm in grade 12 and I'm interested in applying to commerce. Would you have like 10 minutes for a quick virtual chat so I could ask you your opinion on the program or something like that? And surprisingly, a lot of the university students were very helpful and got back to me. Of course, you're going to have people who don't get back to you, but, how are you going to ever know if you don't try? So I, tried, I put myself out there, and I got to talk to a lot of the university students, and that really shaped, like, my decision. Like, it's completely different, the program on paper and what people tell you from actually getting the real, genuine students' opinions. So, for example, I talked to one student about a program at a university. I'm not going to say which, but they told me that, like, just in general, like, the environment between students is kind of competitive, and it's not, like, a very collaborative environment. And so that was, like, one reason why I chose not to go into that university. And those are the things that you wouldn't really read on paper, and you wouldn't see. Like, people might not even publish them in these interviews. They wouldn't want to say these things. But reaching out to the students can be so impactful and making your decision. So I would definitely recommend doing that. I got into DAL already, and I'm really surprised. I'm not surprised. You said you had a 93 average. You're obviously a very smart student. And DAL's a great university. Also has a beautiful campus. So yeah, if you want to reach out to students, definitely LinkedIn is the way to go, for sure. What's a specialty option for a degree? So I'm glad you asked that. That's a great question. So within your degree, it depends on the program, but usually universities will offer you the option to major, do a double major, do a minor, do a certificate, or even do a specialty. So specializing generally means like you take certain courses and then you're kind of on like a learning track, and then on your actual formal degree it'll say like what your specialization was, and it just allows you to focus more on like one kind of learning track. So for example, let's say you're in a health sciences program and you want to go on like an infection and immunology specialty or like learning track. So then in that case, your program might demand of you to take certain courses in 3rd and 4th year in order to meet that specialty or meet that learning track. And then you would be like specialized in that for taking those courses, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's what a specialty is. But there are a lot of other things you can do with your degree. A lot of universities allow you to do double major, minors, and it just really allows you to explore your different interests. You don't have to, narrow yourself down to one thing. So if you're interested in doing a specialty or doing a double major, and if that's one of your priorities when going to university, then I would definitely recommend looking into whether, your programs of interest offer that. Do any programs look at extracurriculars for admissions? Is it just scholarships and sub-apps? That's a great question. There are actually some programs who look at extracurriculars for admissions. Yeah, so like you said, some programs have sub-apps and they look at extracurriculars. So for example, let's say you're applying to Wilfrid Laurier University. They have their ABS sub-app, which is optional, but if your average falls below like their grade range, then they recommend you do it to kind of give the admissions team a whole like scope of like who you are and why they should admit you into Laurier. And so basically that allows you to tell them about you, your extracurriculars, and whatever. Another example of this is the Waterloo AIF. Depending on what program you're applying to, you may need to fill out their admissions information form, the AIF, and that asks you about your extracurriculars. So yeah, some programs might ask you for extracurriculars, but only if it's like a part of their sub-apps. Someone asked, what's a better option, York Commerce or Ryerson Management? This depends on you and what you want in the university, but I'd have to say York Commerce. I assume you're referring to like Schulich. So generally in Ontario, the big three business programs is Queen's Commerce, Western, BMOS, and Ivy, and York Schulich. So those are the big three. So York definitely has a stronger program in that sense. But again, it just depends on like, do you like the school environment? Do you like the campus? Do you like the professors? Those are also things you need to take into account. But in terms of academics, I'd have to say York Commerce. Oh, someone asked a really good question. What's the difference between life sci and health sci? So it obviously depends on the university, but I'll give you an example. We'll do Western. So for Western, their health sci is actually more like social science based. Like they take more social science related courses. For example, sociology, psychology, on all those related courses, whereas Western Med Sci is more about like, the hard sciences like physics, biology, chemistry, that kind of thing. But at other universities, for example, let's do Queen's, their life science program is again more about like the hard sciences, like they take chemistry, biology, they take physics, whereas health sciences is more human health oriented. So for example, they take anatomy, they take human cell physiology, they take, what else did they take? Let me think of another course. But yeah, just in general, health science degrees relate more to human health. And that applies at McMaster too, that applies at Queen's. Western, their health science degree is more social science related. So you're thinking of life science and health science, like applying for those programs? Are you thinking of any universities in general, or any universities in Ontario or outside of Ontario, or what are you thinking? Probably something in Ontario or BC. I mean, both Ontario and BC have really strong life science and health science programs. And you were asking earlier if programs look at extracurriculars for admissions. I could briefly tell you like which life sci and health sci programs in Ontario look at extracurriculars if you want. So let's see, I'll just go with kind of the classic. So Western Med Sci doesn't, and Western Health Sci both don't require a sub-app. So they won't ask you about extracurriculars. Queens Life Sci doesn't require a sup app. They only look at your marks. Queens Health Sci requires a sup app. The sup app usually asks you about your leadership. Sometimes it might ask you questions related to extracurriculars. And yeah, McMaster Life Science also requires a sup app. UTM Life Sci does not require a sup app. There's a lot of universities considering in Ontario that offer Life Sci or Health Sci programs, but these are generally the most popular ones. Outside of UBC, what other strong institutions are there in BC? That's a great question. So in BC, they have UVic, which is University of Victoria. They have a beautiful campus. It's also a strong institution. They also have a university called Fraser Valley. And then there was another university, and I think it started with a Q, but I can't remember what the name was. Let me see if I can search it up for you. Oh yeah, Simon Fraser. Did I mention that already? No, I didn't. Simon Fraser is also a really strong university. Capilano is also really strong. And I think Quantian was the one I was thinking of. But yeah, generally those are really strong, but obviously it just depends on what you're interested in. So yeah, I would say top 5 at least, from an Ontarian's perspective, the ones that I've heard of and heard good things about would be UVic, Fraser Valley, Quantian, Simon Fraser, and Capilano. Yeah. Is it hard to get into Queen's Commerce? I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Yes, it can be generally hard. I believe they have I think it was a 5% acceptance rate. Correct me if I'm wrong. But it is quite competitive just because it is a really strong program. But generally to get into Queen's Commerce, you need to have I believe they have a certain grade cutoff, and it's around 87%. And the sup app, the way they do it, they changed it from the PSE to the SE, the supplementary essay. And what that is they give you 3 questions each month. The questions refresh each month. You pick 2 of those questions and answer them. And you only have to do it once. You don't have to do it every month. So any tips to get in? Typically what commerce students say is that once you get like above the cutoff, your grade doesn't matter. Like your sub app is mainly what determines if you get in or not. So I would say start your sub app early. And I would say, for example, like November's sub app questions have been out for a while. So if you're interested in completing the sub app for November, I would get on it very quickly. If not, don't worry. The questions are going to refresh in December. So you can take a look at those and see whether you want to answer those or not. So yeah, I would also recommend reaching out to commerce students to ask them their opinion. We have a commerce interview on our website. And typically, like, if you know anybody in commerce, usually, like, they're nice enough to, like, review your supplementary essay or give you advice on, you know, what you could be doing wrong or not. We've had students in the past who reached out to the commerce interviewee on our website, and he helped them out. Like, he just, like read it over for them and gave them any, like, tips or advice he had on structure and grammar. But overall, start early. Make sure you have a message, you have a story, you know where you're going, and try not to put fluff because the character limit is very limited. I believe it's 2,000 characters. And yeah. So if I get my questions like the last day of November, I have 30 days, right? Yeah, so the December questions, I believe they'll be released December 1st. So from December 1st, you have 30 days to hand it in until December 31st. So yeah, it's a good amount of time, to be honest, because what you'll find, I completed the sub app for Queens, and what you'll find is that the word count is very short. Like, it's not long at all. It's 2,000 characters without spaces, I believe. So you'll find that you have, like, a lot of ideas to answer the questions, but you can't fit them all. And so you just have to pick, like, your 2 strongest ideas, really expand on them, give them detail, and, like, you know, in the back of your head while you're writing your sub apps, you should always be thinking, like, how can I, like, convince the admissions officer that I deserve to get into Queen's Commerce, that I am a good fit for commerce. So also, if you, like, want to see, like, what kind of students are good fits for commerce, I would recommend, like, going on their website. They have a section, you know, where they tell you what kind of, like, you know, traits they're looking for in students in commerce, and I would, like, sprinkle some of those words in throughout your supplementary essay if you can. Or once you check, you have to commit. No, not at all. You can check the questions and decide you don't like them, you want to do next month's questions. So yeah. Can I check the November ones? If I don't like them, I can do December. Yeah, you can do that for sure. Is that on the Queen's Commerce website? Yeah, it is. I can find it for you. I was actually looking at it the other day because I was working with a student. Yeah, let me see if I can find it for you. Yeah. As you can see here, they kind of describe the student they're looking for. Well-rounded, academically with diverse interests, bright, enthusiastic, and inclusive, strong leadership skills, passion to affect positive change, you know, all of these keywords. They have, like, a video here, and then also somewhere on their website they have their rubric. They have a rubric for a sub app. Isn't that so bizarre? Like, I've never seen another program that does that, but they have a rubric for their supplementary essay. So it's actually really good because they provide you, like, literally exactly what they're looking for. They're looking for your personal growth. They're looking for your connection. They're looking for your lived experience. Like, it's really great. And then also clarity. And yeah, they give you examples of, like, responses of people who got into commerce. And I believe this is actually one, I don't know, I think there's a question for November that's very similar to this question. But yeah, overall, in terms of admission, their website is very helpful. So yeah, definitely recommend looking into that, and also contacting commerce students on LinkedIn. So yeah, let's see how much time we have left to this live. So yeah, we have 6 minutes. If you guys have any other last questions, feel free to let me know. Oh, so you clicked experience. So I went from this website, the commerce website, I clicked program, and then I clicked admissions. Yeah, and then information is right there. Super helpful information, to be honest. No problem. And good luck with your commerce application. It's competitive, but I've heard of students who don't have like amazing averages who got in. My friend had a 92, I believe, and he just spent a lot of time on his supplementary application, and he got in. So don't stress too much, and just make sure to start your application early, and you got this. Is your commerce more competitive than Rotman Commerce? Generally, Rotman Commerce tends to be more competitive just because, University of Toronto gets a lot of, international students in addition to local students applying. University of Toronto is really well renowned throughout the world just because of its, academic reputation. So it gets a lot of international students who apply, so it tends to be more competitive in that respect. But that doesn't mean that your commerce isn't a great program. I would say it's top 3 of business schools in Ontario, so it is a great program. I'm just curious, what are you studying? So I'm at Queen's, and I'm studying health sci. And we had to complete the same supplementary application that commerce had to complete last year. And last year we had a 3%, I think it was 3% or 4% acceptance rate, because last year the popularity of the program really exponentially increased, and there was just a lot of applicants. So I have a lot of experience with writing strong supplementary applications. So yeah. I'm applying for Queen's Commerce, and I would love to connect with other Queen's Commerce students to ask them, would you say Instagram is a good way? If you know these people personally, let's say they went to your high school, graduated, now they're in Queen's Commerce, Instagram is a good way. But for example, if there's someone you don't know, I don't know if Instagram would be the best way. It depends on your approach. You could try Instagram for sure. But for me, when I was in grade 12 and applying, I would just strictly ask through LinkedIn, because I wanted to make it very clear that, I'm approaching them kind of in a professional way, and I want to set up a virtual chat, to get their professional advice on the program and just kind of make it more formal. But if you're comfortable asking them over Instagram, go ahead. Yeah. I actually know a Queen's Commerce student who might be willing to help you. So if you're interested, you can just message our TikTok, and I can see if he's interested, and maybe I can set you guys up, and he can review your application or give you advice if you want. Okay, what's the college system U of T uses? Are they important to consider? Yeah, so U of T does use a college system. It's kind of similar to the UK and what they do. So in U of T, there's for example, Trinity College. I can't remember the other names, but Trinity College is the most popular one, and they're basically just your residence. It's basically just where you live. And you have to apply for them, which is kind of strange, but Trinity tends to be the most popular one, and you have to fill out a supplementary application for that. So I guess it's important to consider where you want to live, your residence, and kind of the environment of the college. But in terms of admission, which residence you apply for doesn't really impact that. It's just more so residence. Okay, so we're going to wrap up the live. We have about 1 minute, 40 seconds, as you guys can see. But yeah, so this has been our Saturday streams. Today we decided to do a study with me and Q&A session, so we hope you guys found it helpful. And as always, make sure to follow us to stay updated with our other TikTok videos and other lives that we do. And yeah, we're here every Saturday from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to answer any and all of your guys' questions on high school, university, OUAC, scholarships, anything like that. So yeah, make sure to follow us on TikTok, follow us on Instagram, check out our website. We try to give as many like free resources as possible to help you guys along the way, because most of us on this team were high school students once, so we remember how stressful it was. And yeah, we're here to help you guys. If you asked any questions that we didn't get to answer in this live, we have someone on our website 24/7. We actually have multiple users on there to help you. If you click the Let's Chat button, you can ask them anything and they'll reply within a few minutes. And yeah, overall, we really enjoy doing these lives. If you guys want us to see, if you want to see us do anything different, feel free to ask. Also, I'm just going to quickly plug our Discord server. We have over 900 people on there, and it's basically very helpful for high school students. We have a bunch of university students answering your guys' questions on there. Link in our bio if you're interested. So yeah. This was our Saturday streams, I think 3rd week or 4th week. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. Be sure to tune in next week if you have any other questions, or as always, ask on our Discord, our website, follow us, we got you. And yeah, have a good evening, guys. See you later.